All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Um, get ready for a wonderful show on this morning. This is the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Holt. I always say in the morning, get that good coffee, that mocha latte, get your favorite cereal, those Fruit Loops, that Captain Crunch, that cream of wheat, or that oatmeal, or just plain old bagel with cream cheese, whatever you need. Get ready, get up. The Fresh Start Show is here. We're ready, we're pumped, we're crunked. We're here to speak about the issues that are challenging our justice system, and that's why we have this wonderful show called the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Holt. Again, just happy to be here with you on this morning. Let's get ready, let's get it, get up, and let's get ready to have a good time on this morning. So again, we're here every Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. on the 106.3 The Groove. And I thank all of my supporters that's been being so kind, giving us some encouraging words. I've gotten some letters already from some inmates that have wrote me, and so I just wanted to let you know I did get your letters. Thank you for those that's been writing, and I want to encourage you to continue to keep writing because this show is for you. This show is for the inmates. This show is for the formerly incarcerated. Our show is to speak about the issues that people who are incarcerated go through time in and time out. And even when they're released from prison, the issues that they constantly go through from time in to time out. And it is our job to use this radio show as a worldwide pulpit to speak truth to power, to speak into the issues, and to humanize those who are incarcerated, whether you are in the county jail, city jail, whether you are in state or federal penitentiary. This show is about you. This show is about you. Finally, we have a show that speak it like it is, tell it like it is, and we want to make sure that we be a voice to the voiceless, and we be a voice to those who felt like they've lost their dignity, that felt like they've lost their pride and they've lost their identity because they've been in prison and they have been labeled as a felon for the rest of their life. In this country, it's no secret. We know that when you are arrested and you have been convicted and incarcerated in this country, especially if you have a felony, that felony follows you for the rest of your life. And many of our institutions, we call our prisons the Department of Corrections. Think about that, the Department of Corrections. But my question is, what the heck are you correcting? Or what are you fixing? When the inmates are in prison, what are you correcting? Prison is more like it should not be called the DOC. It should be called the DOP, which is the Department of Punishment, because many of our penitentiaries and our prison bureaus of prisons and our prison system do more about punishment than we do about rehabilitation and education and equipping inmates to have better life skills and being educated so that when they are released from prison, that they can get into the driver's seat of their destiny and the driver's seat of their life. And so that's why we have this show. And this show was a burden that I feel that God had put on my heart to be not just a pulpit in church, but be a pulpit into the city, be a pulpit into the world, to speak truth about what our brothers and sisters are daily going through as far as the struggle with, one, being incarcerated, then two, once they're released, and re-enter society. It's not as easy as a lot of people think, far as just going to get a job and going to go get housing. When you have a felony on your background, there is some serious issues, some serious struggles. When you have a felony, it is hard to get housing. And when you have a felony, it is hard to get a good job, not just a job. We're not talking about just a job. We're talking about a job that a formerly incarcerated individual can be proud of, job with benefits, that you can put food on the table, keep a roof over your family and things of that nature, a career and not just a job. And we know that it is a big struggle in regards to that. And, I'm a doctor of psychology, and so I am a national trauma expert. Matter of fact, I'm a traumatologist, and I understand that when you go to prison, there's many inmates that talk about developing mental illness in prison and developing brain injuries. That's what trauma is, and also post-traumatic stress disorder known as PTSD. PTSD, yeah, it is a brain injury. When traumatic experiences transpire in someone's life, there's a rewiring in the brain. And so when people come out of prison, they're not necessarily the same. So it's not just about getting a job and a housing. And how do you do that when you've been impacted from a psychological perspective? So I've heard many times. I did a study called the traumatization of incarceration, where we look at where people who are in prison are not rehabilitated. They're not getting education. They're not getting the skills that they need. So when they come out of prison, that they're able to enhance their life. And so many comes out with maladaptive experiences, many traumatic experiences. There's many inmates that talk about, even though they've been out of prison, released out of prison, how they still struggle with paranoia and how they struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder, how some have schizophrenia and suffer from manic depression. And sometimes because of the traumatic experiences, that they suffer from dissociative disorder, to where they just totally mentally and emotionally disengage because they've been there in a cage and treated like animals. Well, if you treat humans like animals, what kind of behavior do you expect that they're going to get? Another thing we don't consider in regards to incarceration is also the poor food that they give those that are incarcerated. As we do our studies and look at psychology, especially in the realm of what we say neuropsychology, poor nutrition impacts brain cells, which also impacts individuals' ability to stay regulated in behavior. I've said all of that scientific lingo to say is that poor food impacts your food. Poor food impacts your mood, and so. These are some just a few things that we talk about that is very challenging in prison, and the way that prison guards treat inmates, treating them like they're animals and being condescending and being very disrespectful. Now, I'm not saying that all inmates are angels either, because we know that sometimes they can exacerbate the issues, but the issues at hand is the prison system is a system that is not doing what it should to help individuals get back on their feet. And so this is the reason why we have a Fresh Start. And I'm the founder of the Fresh Start organization, the Fresh Start International Organization. I am the visionary and brainchild of the Fresh Start Expo event that we have every year at the Tucson Convention Center in October. And the reason why we have a Fresh Start is because we do have the same issues where not only being in prison, but what happens when you come out of prison? What happens when you're released? What happens when you have to re-enter society? Are you really ready? I've talked to many former inmates that talked about while they were coming back home, how they were so desensitized and dissociative even with their loved ones. They wasn't the same. They didn't know how to handle affection. They did not show more of attachment. They showed more rather detachments, because you spent so much time in prison detaching so you can survive that harsh reality of prison. And then now that you're released from prison, you have to come back home and integrate with your family and integrate with your community. It's just not that easy with the brain to switch like that from being dissociative all those years while being in prison, and now you have to build attachments. That's just the mental and the emotional issues when it comes to being incarcerated. But then when you come out, what do you really have? What's really there? What resources is really there for the formerly incarcerated? And we know that many people who have experienced many of these issues of being incarcerated don't feel like society humanizes them, but treat them as the scum of the earth. And they're human just like anybody else. And believe it or not, a lot of people, many people, more people probably should be incarcerated. It was just that when they did certain things, they just didn't get caught. But that's neither here nor there. But listen, we're here because we want to help. We're here because we want to encourage. We're here because we want to educate. We're here because we want to inspire and motivate that just because you have made some bad choices in life doesn't mean that your future is over. Let me say that again. Just because you have made some bad choices, I don't know who need to hear this morning. That may be a family member who's been incarcerated. It may be your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, or that uncle or that father. Let me tell you, if you're still breathing, you have a second chance to get your life together. If you're still breathing, the only people that don't have another chance are dead people. If you're still breathing, if the blood is still running warm in your vein, if you still can inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide, that tells me you are still alive and you can turn your life around. Even when people close the door, that is not an absolute no. Even when you go interview for that job and they email you and tell you didn't get that job, don't you dare give up. Don't you quit. Don't you wave that white flag of surrender, and don't you just give up on your dream, because it's not over. Now, just because there's a delay does not mean it's going to be a denial. Things will be delayed. That's just how our system is. But you got to have some grit. You got to have some resilience. And you have to keep believing in your dream. And don't give up. And just because one person told you no, don't you dare give up on your future. That's just one no. There's so many yeses out there. If you would just keep on pushing, keep on grinding, keep on motivating yourself to keep going out there, eventually you're going to hit an opportunity. I don't know who need to hear this today, who's been formerly incarcerated, or you're getting ready. Maybe you in prison, you're getting ready to be released, and you just don't know what to do, where to go. Listen, I want you to know there's some great resources out here, and I want you to take advantage of these things. Number one, Fresh Start Expo is coming back this October 22nd. This coming October. We got a few more months, and next thing you know, October will be here after this summer. October 22nd on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to be helping people who have, number one, who have made some bad choices. They've done their time in prison. They paid their debt to society, and they're now ready to get their life together. We're here for you. That's what Fresh Start is for. And then secondly, it was also to keep people from going to jail. So we also going to be doing warrant squashing. So if you have a pending warrant out there and you're looking over your back and you scared to drive, not sure if you're going to get pulled over, if you got a suspended license, we're here to help you. That's what Fresh Start is all about. There's nothing like us in the land. We are the most unique re-entry restorative justice organization in the entire world. We, the Fresh Start Expo, has been successful at bringing all of our courts, bringing our county attorney, our public defender's office down in one location. It is the Fresh Start organization, the only one in the history of doing this as a re-entry organization that's been able to get judges from the city courts, judges from the county superior courts, judges from the justice of the peace and the justice courts to come down in one place at one time and leave the courtroom and come on the campus of the convention center and hear cases live right where the people of the community is. There's nothing like it, guys. It is powerful. It is transformational. Matter of fact, I feel the goosebumps right now just talking about it because of the lives that we have impacted, the lives that were changed. Listen, Fresh Start. You know what our vision says? The vision says where everyone deserves a new beginning. Let me say that again. We believe as an organization that where everyone deserves a new beginning. Let me say that again. We believe that where everyone deserves a new beginning. You know what that means? It doesn't matter how many years you spent in prison. It doesn't matter if you spent 5. It doesn't matter if you spent 10 or 20 or 30 years in prison. At the end of the day, when you are released from prison, we believe at the Fresh Start Show that everyone deserves a new beginning. And that's what we're here for you to start and get a new beginning. We didn't say a second chance, because how many of you blew your second chance? We didn't say come and get a 10th chance, because some of us, sometimes we blew on our 10th chance. We didn't say come and get a 20th chance, because some of us blew our 20th chance. So it ain't about change. It's not about chances. With Fresh Start, it's all about new beginnings. And so that's what we're here for. And so there's a resource that I want you to take advantage of, which is one of our partners with the Fresh Start organization. His name is Professor Andy Silverman. Professor Andy Silverman. He's a law professor with the University of Arizona. This is my good friend. We've been doing work together, and he's also part of our steering committee with the Fresh Start as we put this organization together. But he still has, as we put this event together, Andy still has his own organization where he's helping people who has been formerly incarcerated to get their voters' rights restored. Did you not know there's a disenfranchisement law if you have a felony in Arizona? We have around close to 200,000 people who's disenfranchised that cannot vote because of a felony conviction. And Andy is here to help us get your voters' rights back. How many of you may have had a felony conviction that needs to get that set aside? It's not a full expungement, but at least on the job application, when it's asked about have you committed a felony, that you can put once the court sets your conviction set aside, you can put that, yes, I do have a felony, but that conviction has been set aside. Again, this is not a full expungement, but what it will do is help. And it looks a little bit better on the job application if you have a background issue. How many of you may have had marijuana convictions, right? Well, Andy's going to be able to help you to get that marijuana conviction expunged. Okay, so if you are in the need of these services right now, because our event is not until October, but we are doing some things continually throughout the year. And so these are one of the things that we're doing. We are helping people get their rights restored, helping people to get their marijuana convictions expunged, and helping convictions get set aside. If you need these services, please take down this number. If you are coming out of prison, you completed your full sentence, then we can be able to help you. Now, if you're still on parole or probation, that's different. But if you completed your full sentence, we're going to be able to help you to start getting applying to get your rights restored so you can vote in the next election, and to be able to help you get your conviction set aside. Okay. His number is area code 520-306-0298. Let me read that again. It is area code 520-306-0298. His name is Andy Silverman. Please give him a call. If you're listening to this announcement right now on this show this Saturday morning, please take down this number. Give Andy a call. Get an appointment set up. Let's help you start getting your affairs in order so that you can get that job, you can get housing, and you can get your future started. The next clinic that Andy is having is on Thursday, May 26th, from 4 to 6 p.m. and the location is the Southern Arizona Legal Aid. The address is 2343 East Broadway, Suite 200. Again, and his phone number is area code 520-306-0298, and that is Andy Silverman. He is a professor of law, and he have a legal and a law team that helps him help people get their rights restored, marijuana convictions expunged, and help people who have gotten convictions to get those convictions set aside. You need that help, please call that number. One more time, it's area code 520-306-0298. The contact is Andy Silverman. Feel free to give him a call. The next clinic If you need these services, will be on Thursday, May 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Southern Arizona Legal Aid, address 2343 East Broadway, Suite 200. Listen, he's listening and he's waiting on your call. I just talked with him yesterday by email. He said have you to give him a call, and he want to help you. If you're in the Sierra Vista area, if you're listening and you need some help, give Andy a call. You're in the Tucson area, Oro Valley, Marana. Listen, this is what this show is here. We're here to help those that are in need. If you've been formerly incarcerated, we want to help you to get on your feet so that you can exercise your God-given potential and destiny. You're somebody. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You are still, a somebody, and you still got great purpose. As a matter of fact, now you got some experience. We've bumped our head a few times. Now we got a little bit of some wisdom. But let me tell you, your life is not over. It's not over until you can't breathe anymore. So if you're still breathing, you got a fighting chance to get into the driver's seat of your God-given destiny, and you can move forward. Do not let that felony background stop you. Again, you may have a few delays. You will have some disappointments, but it doesn't mean it's going to totally stop you. Listen, those that's been writing me, I want you to continue writing me. I appreciate those letters. Keep those letters coming in. If you want to write me, you're listening to this radio broadcast or this podcast, continue to write me. You can write me and send your letters to 1830 East Broadway Boulevard, 124 Box 266, Tucson, Arizona. 85719 is our address. So send us your letters if you're listening. Again, I've gotten letters thanking me for the show. I had one letter said that they didn't even know this show existed. They didn't know we even had a show in the whole state of Arizona that was about dealing with justice issues and dealing with the formerly incarcerated or the incarcerated. And they just said, I thank you. This show, Dr. Holt, has been a breath of fresh air, of encouragement and inspiration. And that's what we hear. And if you're listening right now, Dr. Holt is trying to motivate you, inspire you to continue to keep moving forward. You have a great destiny ahead, and the best is yet to come. You ain't seen nothing yet. So pick your head up and square your shoulders and encourage yourself that it's not over. And it's no secret, what God can do. What he's done for others, he'll do the same for you. So you grind, you work hard, you apply yourself. You don't let anybody that tell you no that it's a no. A no never really means no. That just means that's not your door. One thing I realized, a rejection is nothing but a direction. I'm going to say that again. A rejection is nothing but a direction. That simply means is that rejection was just not your door of opportunity. That rejection was not your door or your window of blessings. But just know that there is a door for you, and you don't know all what you can do until you start applying yourself. So get up, shake yourself, wipe your tears, square your shoulders, encourage yourself that I got work to do. I got to have a life to live, and there's many opportunities that has my name on it. I don't know who needs to hear that this morning on a Saturday morning, and I know this is Saturday before Sunday, so I'm giving you a sermon before your Sunday sermon, but I just want to encourage you to keep pushing on. Listen, my time is far spent. I got to get out of here, but I thank you for all my supporters, all my listeners. Listen, if you are an organization that wants to help sponsor my show and have a commercial on my show, I totally invite you. So please contact me again. Supporters, if you want to write me, please write me again. That address is 1830 East Broadway Boulevard, 124 Box 266, Tucson, Arizona, 85719. Send those letters. Let me know how you're doing, whether you're in prison, whether you're out of prison. I just want to know you're doing okay. This show is for you. Listen, Fresh Start will be here October 26th. 22nd on a Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Tucson Convention Center. Let's have a great time. Let's change some lives, and let's turn our city upside down. Listen, this is Dr. Hope with Fresh Start. Enjoy your Saturday, and God bless.